Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Louie Bruce. Doing pretty good today, having a really good day. But I was surfing online and I came across a couple of concepts that I wanted to share with you guys, and hopefully we can get an understanding and start a conversation. First and foremost, I want to just say that I give honor to God and I praise Him for everything He's done in my life and is doing in my life, and that going forward, that's the Most High. That's all we can do is praise the Most High. But I want to introduce you to a lot of times. Here's the thing. Let me get this together right here. A lot of times when you bring an idea to people, they say, uh, they resist for the most part because you're bringing an idea that is, I want to say, revolutionary to their thinking. And usually in the past, what has been called has been called a pyramid scheme. And people say that a pyramid scheme is where you come to that person really excited, you sharing an idea, they gravitate towards the idea, and then they become a part of the team. So does that's the language that's usually used. Join my team, let's make some money. And so it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth about that, and they started calling it a pyramid scheme. But if you look here behind me, let's go right here. This represents your and my job. Now, at the top of this job, there's the CEO, then there's the president, vice president, middle management, team leaders and supervisors, and then you and I, the hard-working employees. And that's most of the people that I've been sitting down and talking to. Most people fall under this category. So what we want to do is visualize what that looks like in terms of the job you have. It could be a corporate job. It could be a 9-to-5 job. Whatever the job may be that requires you to be on the job for a certain amount of hours each day for a paycheck. Now let's look at your job structure. Let's say you work at, for all intents and purposes, I'll say Starbucks. Starbucks has a CEO. Starbucks also has a president. They have a vice president, there's middle management, team leaders and shift supervisors, hardworking employees. Okay, so let's start with middle management. Middle management are typically the people that are skilled in that particular job arena, and they've been on the job a few years, usually 3 to 5 years at the minimum. They're promoted after that to middle management, and they run stores, because now this represents the corporate structure, but under the vice president, middle management falls under all of the locations in your particular city. You go out, there's a Starbucks like right here on Flamingo, around the corner from my house. There's another Starbucks on the other side of my neighborhood. Now, in both of those Starbucks, somebody is running that Starbucks. Then you have your leaders and supervisors. Then you have the hardworking employees, the ones that cannot take your order, make your coffee for you, all of that stuff. So now, the argument is that pyramid schemes don't work. And that's the title that was given to network marketing and those type of ventures, that they're pyramid schemes and that they don't work. Okay, now, looking at your job structure here, Starbucks, that looks to me like a pyramid. Reason why I say that, because you and I cannot go and apply to work at Starbucks with the guarantee that we'll be a CEO of Starbucks, because Howard Schultz is that, unless he sells his company, he is the CEO of this company, Howard Schultz. I don't know who the president is. I don't know who the vice president is. And the middle management can be, like I said, every location has somebody running that store. Then inside of those stores, there are team leaders and supervisors. And of course, hardworking employees at each of those jobs that take your order, that make your coffee, that smile when you come in, they're wiping tables. So in essence, the point I'm trying to make is your job is a pyramid scheme. Your job is a pyramid scheme because you'll never be the CEO of Starbucks. You'll never be the president. You'll never be the vice president. You may make middle management. And now, like I said, 3 to 5 years minimum, people usually transition into these areas. And I really want to stress that with team leaders and supervisors, the 3 to 5 years, because middle management, that means you've been around. You're a veteran. Spent about 10 years in this business, and you know ins and outs of the store. Ideally, you can go and start your own Starbucks. However, under the brand and trademark, you can't be the CEO. You can only be middle management. So in that nutshell, your job is a pyramid scheme. Fight me if you want to. Let's argue about it. Let's talk about it. Now, I'm going to go to another concept that's been beneficial to my life and has absolutely changed the way that I looked at society. And I learned this concept. I don't know if I can get the whole thing in there, but okay, this right here is the cash flow quadrant. Anybody that's familiar with the cash flow quadrant, it's in Rich Dad Poor Dad, and Robert Kiyosaki introduced this idea to us. Now, I don't know about his politics. I don't get into what that man thinking, but what I do know is that when I found the cash flow quadrant, it gave me greater insight into how we do what we do when we go make money. Now, you can't see it right here. I don't know, I might have cut that off, but for all intents and purposes, I don't want to take time to go find the picture and reshape it. So the cash flow quadrant is basically the 4 ways that most people generate income. And the 4 ways most people generate income is this one here. As an employee, this means you have a job. You go to work. Every 2 weeks, you get a paycheck. No leverage, 5% wealth. And the amount of active work. So you go to work. If you don't clock in, you don't get paid. That's your job. Now, he introduced this concept, self-employed. Self-employed kind of works the same way. However, you have now owned the job. 95% of the population fall out of this category. I was one of them. I'm still one of them because I'm transitioning. However, progress is the key. And wherever you find yourself on this quadrant, it doesn't matter. You don't have to stay there. You can learn and evolve and move forward. Now, this one right here is considered a business owner. Now, this is a business owner where you have leverage. You have leverage and the potential to have 95% wealth building activities because your income does not depend on your personal work. That's what that means. Active work means personal work, meaning that like I can stand right here, but if I have a business, they're working while I'm here, I'm still making money. This is where wealth is built because now your time is leveraged as well as the people that work with you, all right? So then this last one is investor. Now, suppose as a business owner, you generate cash flow and a portion of that cash flow, you decide to invest in a duplication of that business or another business. So you're now an investor because your money now, here's the king. We want to get to the point where we have money work for us and not work for money. This has been our problem as a people. This has been my problem as an individual. Since I've been 16 years old, I've been working for money. Now I'm in the point in my life where I want my money to work for me. So I become an investor from being a business owner. So let's just recap. Employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. These are the 4 ways that most Americans perhaps make money. Okay? So I looked at this and the concept made absolute sense to me. However, there's a factor that we don't look at when we look at the idea of generating income. Most of us have been programmed to make income one particular way. Now, you can say all 4 of these areas have been imparted onto children, but you look at the results, most of us have been taught to be an employee. Most of us have been told from the time that we get registered in our mind that you go to work to make your money. My mom taught me the whole 18 years that I was in the house. She taught me, go to school, get a good education, and you will get a good job. And you will be successful. That was my success path that was laid out for me. And in my mind, I knew that it wasn't for me because I kept doing that same thing and I wasn't having any success or results. Because now, once a person, if you're introduced to all four of those categories at a young age, you get an opportunity to choose your path rather than go the path you're pushed into. So I come to a point where I decided, you know what, I want to know more about things. And this is what brought me to this cash flow quadrant. Now, let's take these four areas and apply it to one idea. And this will help you know where you are in the cash flow quadrant. Because this quadrant represents a foundation of thinking. This represents a foundation of thinking because each of these areas are mindsets. You know, if you've been fixed on one mindset your whole life, go to school, get a good job, get an education. When these other concepts are introduced to you, there's going to be a difficulty factor on grasping the concept because you've only been taught the one way. And that was me. I've only been taught the one way. However, naturally, I was more self-employed because I can take an idea and make money off of it rather than going to a job to get it. I could do that too. But here's the thing. Now, when an idea is introduced, where you are in this cash flow quadrant determines how you engage that idea. Let's go back to Starbucks again. Suppose a Starbucks is being built in your neighborhood. Suppose a Starbucks is being built in your neighborhood. Now, as an employee, when you see that Starbucks building being built, your first mind is, I got to put in an application to get the job. I got to go and see if they're hiring. As a self-employed person that sees that Starbucks being built up, oh, okay, this is self-employed thinking. They're building a coffee store. Why don't I make mugs? Why don't I make pastries and take them to the Starbucks and see if we can partner up and they sell my goods? Or before people go in the store, I can sell my goods outside. I can set up a table somewhere or in the car. This is how most self-employed people think. They're going to sell donuts or something like that. Starbucks got bagels, I got donuts. All right. Now, as a business owner, when you see with a business owner mindset, when you see a Starbucks being built in that area, you have options. Maybe I should purchase that Starbucks as a franchisee, or I can build a coffee shop that will compete with that Starbucks. This is the mind of a business owner. Now, as an investor, it's kind of the same. You have a whole lot of money in your account and you said, I'll fund that Starbucks. I'll help it get built and add on more stuff to it. I'm going to invest in that Starbucks. I don't want to have to be there and punch in the clock and work the shift. However, I got $5 million to add on a playground, to add on a second story. You see what I'm saying? So you can have the same idea, but four ways of people looking at it and determine, and the basis of your idea, are you an employee-minded person? Are you a self-employed person? Are you a business owner? Or are you an investor? That determines your method, or excuse me, not your method, but your mode of approach to this item that's being built in your community. So that's all I really wanted to talk about real quick, was about the cash flow quadrant, the four major ways most people make money. Now, I'm gonna break it down a little more real quick and then I'm gonna get out of here. Okay, now, as he introduced us to cash flow quadrant, right? He also introduced that there was a left side and a right side. So the left side there's no leverage, you see, because as an employee, you're trading your time for money. As self-employed, you have a little more time and you're making money, but if you don't spend the time, you don't get the money. Meaning that if I'm a Lyft driver and I pull over and park the car, I'm not making any money. Now, as a business owner, let me get back over here. As a business owner, people are working with me. I'm not by myself. I've hired these people to work the business that I put in place, and we all make money. I don't have to do everything they do because I built the business. They're going to work with me, and we're going to make money together. But I'm in the position of leverage because I have the money and the people to work for me. All right. Same thing with an investor. I have leverage because I have the money and I have the people that are looking for the investment. So I put the money in those people's hands. They work the idea. I get a percentage, my cut, and I didn't have to do any work other than putting the money up. So Robert Kiyosaki said, this side right here, the cash flow quadrant. And it's broken down like this. E, employee, self-employed, S, B, business owner, I, investor. So he broke it down to say that wealth is built on the right side. As a business owner, as an investor, you are now compounding your time, your people, and your resources. This is where your wealth is going to come from. Over here, if you by chance get wealthy, you're never going to live to enjoy it because you'll be so tired from all of the work that you put in, you won't have the energy to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So the key is to get on this side of the cash flow quadrant as a business owner, as an investor, because now you have leverage and you have life. Now, if you want to know more about how to get onto these categories right here, I advise you to reach out to me. Let's have a conversation and let's see what we can do to build your reality. Peace.